All right, let's talk about the biggest myth in wealth and income and money and finance, right? And that's that income and wealth are the same thing. And that is a middle class mindset. It's absolutely not true. The wealthy think and do things at a different level, right? So typical middle class is gonna make income. And again, we already established you can make 300, 500,000 a year, $1 million a year, and still be stuck in the middle class cycle because all of that income is pouring into a leaky bucket that leaks out into taxes, that leaks out into lifestyle creep, and maybe you're dripping a little bit over here into an IRA or a 401k. But according to the Federal Reserve, the vast majority of middle class wealth, guess where it's stored and held? In your house. Typically, the only real wealth that the middle class builds is the house that they live in. And that thing's not generating any income. It's not pouring out any cash, right? In fact, you're probably having to spend money just to keep up with that. Now, I'm not saying don't own a house. I'm saying don't confuse the fact that you've got equity and a little bit of money in an IRA or a 401k. Don't confuse that with wealth. See, the ultra wealthy or the wealthy in general think in a different level. They rebuild the bucket and they use what I call the Durable Wealth Flywheel to accomplish that. Now, a lot of business owners, I'm speaking specifically to business owners who have created great businesses that generate income, right? They're generating $500,000 a year. They're generating $1 million a year. They're paying taxes. They're living a good lifestyle. They're dripping some over into an IRA or a 401k or a brokerage account, but then they fall into the trap of taking everything that's left over and just pouring it over more of the same back into their business because, man, this thing's generating income. If I invest more into it, then it's going to generate more income, right? And that works up until a certain point. But let me tell you why that's a trap and why it actually is working against you building durable wealth. What you're doing is you're keeping your floor the same, you're just raising your ceiling. You're raising your income ceiling. The more you raise your income ceiling, but if your floor doesn't move up with it, then the further you have to fall if things don't work out, if the economy hits a bad spot, if your industry gets hit, if something happens to your business, then you crash all the way down to that floor. And so what you need to be doing instead of just pouring money back into your business is you need to be raising your floor as you raise your ceiling. And let me show you how I am doing exactly that. All right, so let's talk about the floor. How do you raise your floor and your ceiling at the same time? So here's what I do. I own 3 businesses right now. Each of those businesses is generating cash flow. I use some of that money to live, to take care of my family, to go on vacations, to do cool stuff, because I want to live now, not just in the future. But I'm also taking a big chunk of that and I'm pouring it into my floor assets. Now, a good alternative asset portfolio, a durable wealth portfolio, really needs to be optimized to do 3 things. The first is you want to generate income. The second is you want to generate growth. And the third is you want to generate tax benefits and tax advantages so you're giving less of your money to the government. And so I focus on 3 core asset classes. This is just what I do. And I want each of those to act as a specialist in each of these 3 categories. They all touch all 3, but they specialize in one, right? Let me explain what I mean. In my income category, I invest primarily in private credit funds. This is a higher, safer position. I invest in real estate-backed private credit. And what that does is it throws off a predictable 9, 10, 11% annual cash income at my floor, okay? Then the second thing I want to do is I want to optimize for growth. I primarily use stable multifamily real estate asset investments to create that stable floor that has predictable, resilient growth over time. But then as I'm generating earned income from my business and passive income from my real estate and private credit, I want to find a way to massively reduce my tax bill. And that is where the tax advantage sleeve of my floor comes in. I use oil and gas investments to massively reduce my tax bill. See, with oil and gas, the right structure, non-operated working interest, you can deduct up to 80, sometimes even 90% of your investment in year one through intangible drilling costs and depletion and depreciation. And that, if structured the right way, can reduce both your passive income and your earned income. So let me give you a real example of that. If you invest $100,000, just a small chunk, right, into an oil and gas non-operated working interest fund, then you can write off, say, $80,000 that first year that you don't pay taxes on. At a 37% tax bracket, that's nearly $30,000 that you just saved on your tax bill, and that's before you've generated any cash flow or income off that investment. And so this is how you build a floor. You've got stable passive income that you don't have to work for. You've got growth so that your capital is multiplying over time, and you got tax benefits so that you share less of that money with the government. That's how you raise your floor while you're also increasing and raising your ceiling. And so now I want to talk about the Durable Wealth Flywheel. I had to explain the floor first because it's a key component to this strategy, right? So it starts with your business, right? Your business is at the top. You're generating that income. You're obviously got to live off of some of that. You're going to have the house, you're going to have the car, you're going to have the kids, you're going to have all the stuff. But the first thing that you want to do is you want to peel off some of that cash flow and income from that business, and you want to pour it into your floor. That's your income investments, your growth investments, and your tax advantaged investments. Then those things are going to produce yield and tax savings, right? And so over here, it flywheels over to yield and tax savings. You're making money off of that portfolio, and you're saving money on your taxes in that portfolio. As you build that steady passive income and growth, the next thing that you want to do, and this is the big move, okay? You want to take that money and invest it into buying other businesses. Now, that's a really popular, sexy topic that people are talking about right now, but the issue is that most people are going straight from their current business income to trying to acquire another business income, and they're not building the floor in between. So they're raising their ceiling without raising their floor with it. The beauty about this flywheel is essentially when you use this strategy and this durable wealth flywheel, you're raising your floor while you raise your ceiling. This business then comes back up, feeds your business income, and you can continue to cycle this. And the beautiful thing about that, the most powerful thing about that, is every time you turn this wheel, your floor levels up, right? So now you're building actual durable wealth in a consistent, systematic, structured cycle. This is how the wealthy build wealth, and this is how they outpace the middle class, even if their income starts the same as yours is. I mean, if you're making $1 million a year, you ought to be able to cycle this every single year. All right, so just to simplify and summarize everything that I've talked about so far, right? Your floor is your passive income. That's money that you don't have to go out and work for anymore. If you raise your earned income without raising your passive income, then as soon as something happens bad in the economy, or you personally go through some kind of crisis situation where you can't generate that income anymore, or your business can't generate that income anymore, then you crash all the way down to essentially nothing because you never raised your floor. The reason this stage is so important is because you're elevating your floor while you elevate your income. You're elevating your passive income while you grow your active income, and doing this is actually saving you on your earned income taxes as well. And so this is how you're able to compound wealth much more efficiently, much faster. Now, this stage right here is the part that a lot of people either don't understand at all, or they've heard all the sexy buy the boring business news, right? Well, the fact is is right now there are millions of businesses that are about to change hands. It's $15 trillion wealth transfer over the next, decade or so. As boomers retire, they've got businesses, these businesses are profitable, and a huge percentage of those businesses have no succession plan, which means they don't know who's going to own that business next, who's going to operate that business next. So there's lots of businesses that business owners are looking to exit. Now, I'm not like the expert on business acquisitions. I've got a great friend. He wrote the seminal book on buying existing businesses. And so he's the guy that I turn to and rely on for this stage of the flywheel. But the reality is if you can buy those businesses with passive income and growth that you generated, then you're able to level up your income ceiling and your income and wealth floor simultaneously. And that's what makes this such a powerful strategy, okay? All right, now here's the last thing that I want to show you on this video, all right? So if you look at this as an axis, right? Your horizontal axis is time. This is the years of your life, your work, your income generating years, right? And then the vertical axis is money. This is what you make. This is the wealth that you build. This is the income that you create. When you start as a business owner and a high income earner in your business, let's say you're starting right here, you're already making good money, your earned income is most certainly going to outpace your passive income. This is your floor and this is your ceiling, right? But as you run that durable wealth flywheel, this curve over time, it begins to increase and there becomes what I call the flip. The moment where your passive income and wealth outpaces your earned income. And the definition of wealth and prosperity is having enough money that you don't have to go out and work for, that's coming in passively, that matches your lifestyle, that allows you to be able to live the life that you want to live and have some left over so you can be generous, you can leave money to your kids, all of that kind of stuff. And the cool thing about passive wealth that's owned by assets is it doesn't expire when you do, right? It doesn't go away when you die. And so this is an amazing way to set your kids up with a higher floor, and they can continue to build their ceiling from there. And so you're working towards the flip. That's what I tell people. When you are owning a business, producing income, if you're not building that passive sleeve, that floor, and it's not cycling that flywheel, continuing to grow, then you're never gonna hit the flip, and you're basically just gonna be enslaved to your business for the rest of your life. But when you hit this point, this is where you actually get to own your exit. This is where you get to decide how much you want to work for earned income, how much you want to operate your business, how much you want to be involved in day-to-day operations. And if you want to take time off, guess what? You're making more money from your passive streams than your earned streams, right? And so this is truly the way that the wealthy build wealth. They take their earned income at the start, they use that to buy passive income producing assets that are tax advantaged, that grow asymmetrically to public markets, that hedge against inflation. And that's how you build durable wealth. So if you like content like this, you want to learn more about passive investing, building that floor, using those 3 core assets, income, growth, and tax advantage, then smash subscribe right now. Share this with someone who you think it would be helpful for, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.